This tournament is brought to you by Asus ROG, and finalists stand a chance to win the Asus ROG GTX 11000, the lag-free and low-latency gaming router with one-click mobile boost. You can also get the GTX 11000 when you sign up for MyRepublic's Gamer Fiber Broadband. So go to myrepublic.net/sg/gamer for more information. Alright, we're back once again, and oops, I feel like the name tag below us is a little bit swapped, but no worries. My name is J07.
Hey, I'm good with that. I don't mind being J's today. And obviously, if you were here earlier in the day, you have caught the Indonesian tournament that we had for the MyRepublic Gamer Arena, and now we're gonna have the Singapore Regional Tournament, and I'm really excited for it. We have a couple of teams that some of you guys at home might be able to recognize, and obviously a couple of players that you might find familiar. Maybe you've played with them before, and who knows, you might even be watching the stream because you are one of the friends. So remember to comment in the section below, left, right, on top, you know, wherever it is, which team as well as which players you guys are supporting. But we have a couple of teams that will be playing today, and we have Monarch up against DVT Power Play. That's going to be the first game that we'll be showing, and that is the upper bracket finals. And then after that, we will be streaming the lower bracket finals, and last but not least, the grand finals. So those are two maps that are rather three games that we will be streaming for the Singapore Regional qualifiers, or the qualifiers for the Singapore tournament. And to start off, it looks like DVT Power Play. DVT Power Play will be starting on the red, and then we got Monarch on the blue.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, this is a best of one. So they've got to put the best card forward and, you know, hope for the best, I would say.
And I think starting bans were pretty much sure what they want. I'm not sure if that was intended, but we did see Monarch just give up one of the bans. So like I said, I'm not exactly sure if that's on purpose, or is that something that they just want to let go one of the bans because they feel like they want to open up some options to them. I've always said don't give up a ban, because even if you have nothing you want to take out, or because you want meta heroes, just ban out heroes that you know you're definitely not going to play against, or rather you know that you're definitely not going to play, because those are the heroes where you never know, it might end up biting you in the back. Like, you know, ban out a Hellcat if you want to. For all you know, just ban a Mia. Like, just do it for the sake of doing it and don't miss the ban. That's just my opinion, but hey, some teams just want to let the clock counter go down, and fine by me.
Yeah, it's kind of scary actually. I hope it's not intentional, because like, you know, banning at least a Ling. Remember all the past tournaments, you know, if you don't ban a Ling, the Ling on the other side is going to make sure that you remember to ban the Ling in the future. And I would say, even though if you want to ban the Mia, yeah, just for the fun of it, but I feel like if you've been playing with meta heroes for a long time, right, you probably have formed some sort of a counter. I believe that every single hero that is on the table right now has a weakness. Let's say, for example, I like to pull in Claude as an example. Claude, very weak early game, but once you allow him to farm up, he becomes a monster. So what you have to do, you have to invade his jungle as much as possible, force the fight, make sure the Claude doesn't grow and come online as quick as possible. But with that said, Kaja being the safe pick for Monarch, and very safe and decent support, can do some sort of damage, as well as the lockdown from the Divine Judgment right there for going in the favor of Monarch. It's a kind of hero that, you know, I don't have any, in my opinion, right, it's like I don't really have much hero to pick right now. I'm not sure what to pick, but you know what, I'm going to open the Kaja because how flexible he is in the matchup right now. So I would say very well picked for the Kaja.
I was about to comment about the fact that they let one band go through. So I guess in a sense they're preparing to take two more. There's just a trade-off, right? When you're on the right side, you get two of the meta heroes. You can kind of force your opponents to pick up at first pick. In this case, I love the fact that Mobile Legends Bang Bang has so many heroes now. In the past, it used to be always the same carry. You always see the same marksman. You always see the same mage. But now with so many heroes in a pool that's available for draft, I guess in some ways, like you said, there's always another hero that counters one another. So, and in a certain extent, well, there is never a win-win situation. You gotta give something up, and in this case, for the side of DVT, they choose to give up the Natalia. They will pick up the Valorant Claude, which is really good, right? We haven't seen other teams from other regions playing it. They make use of the fact that Valor's really good at invade. He's pretty good when it comes to defensive because of the steering torrents. Then you also get a lot of that early game farm, I would say mid game farm, once the Claude gets his golden stuff. I don't know why I'm starting today. I think I'm just I'm too excited.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I would say that both of us are actually excited. I'm not sure about you, but I would say for myself, because they forgot to ban one of them. So I really want to see how Monarch is going to have to make up for that. Are they going to ban an Atlas, or are they going to use an Atlas? Because don't forget, Atlas is still on the table right here. But
I don't think Atlas would be a good pick for Monarch, because the Valor's there. You have the threat of the ejector coming off the jawhead. It's not the easiest to land a Fatal Link onto a Claude because of the better mirror dimension. So in some way, I don't think an Atlas would make any sense. They will try to pick something a little bit tankier, but or rather as tanky, but at the same time, doesn't really get affected by Valor. And Grog is actually pretty good, because when you're using the power of nature, when you're charging up your speed, you will get that immunity to CC. So if you know how to kind of engage, how to make use of that particular buff, or not buff, but that particular characteristic of Grog, then that might work in Monarch's favor, especially when they're looking to push past the burst fireball and close the distance between them and the backline of DVT.
Oh, alright, yeah, true. Because can you imagine Grog charging up Power of Nature and going just ignoring everything that Valera throws at him, and that is definitely one scary Grog right there. But Leomord are going to be picked on the other side. I would say Leomord is a good counter to Carry in a sense, because you know how Carry is very mobile going around the battlefield, but Leomord on the other hand, he can stick onto any marksman. Have you tried running away from a Leomord? He can just chase you down with his ultimate, and while he chases you down, he's actually dealing damage to you around you as well. And if he actually took the Bloodlust Axe as well, he's going to be healing. So Leomord, kind of interesting as well. We kind of have two horse-ish kind of characters, kind of heroes going in the favor of DVT. You have the High Lost, which is Centaur, and then you have
yes. And I mean, at the end of the day, DVT, we've heard of them before. They are they have multiple teams across multiple titles. So that being said, that might be, they're definitely comfortable with the draft. You could see they have a sense of what they want to go for. Leomord, it's been out of the meta for quite a while already, but then with the fighters being prioritized, coming into the side lanes, and then being really good solo pushers, I guess this is where Leomord can come back into the meta. And he's picked up Execute, not my favorite meta spell to be used alongside Leomord, because if you look over to the side of Monarch, you have a lot of CCs. You have the Divine Judgment coming from the Kaja, you have the Way of the Dragon from Cho, there's the Wild Charge from Grog, and then you have just so much lockdown. And in a sense, I think Purify would be better, but you really see Purify being picked up by Valor as well as Claude. So that kind of gives you a sense of how Impurity, but DVT wants to set up, and that is, they are prepared for Valor and Claude to get caught up. That's without a doubt. You look at Chao, you look at Kaja, they both have Flicker. they're definitely looking to hurt that backline. And the only way to kind of dodge that is just to purify and try to keep as much distance as possible. So I guess where, like you said, Leomord's job, main role would be to go and carry, not be too worried about the Kaja and Cho, let Joy and Hylos deal with them. They've got, Law and Order stun, they've got Ejector to keep both of these gankers, per se, to, throw them away from the backline. So yeah, Leomord with Execute, after that long story, that long touching breakdown that I gave on Execute
from Grandpa Aris.
I guess yeah, it does make sense. I think the game is a bit wonky. Definitely having a bit of issue. I think we should be closing the game and then restarting would be pretty good too. But yeah, maybe you would like to give your take on the draft and who you think has the better draft at this point.
To be honest, right now, I'm looking at. I think both sides have actually good draft, to be honest, because it feels like both of them have the lockdown potential, both of them have the CC potential as well, and both of them actually has the damage. They have the claw on the other side. They also have the carry on the other side. They have good tanks. They have good CC. So I would say that drafting wise, they are quite well balanced. They are also you can't really tell who is gonna emerge victor. But something I have to point out is the Natalia pick though. The Natalia pick is probably on the other side. It definitely has to go around and flank. If the Natalia did not flank and did not get into position during a team fight, because I think Natalia's main target is the Valair. Once you take down the Valair, there's no CC and that will be, one less damage dealing, and it kind of save your team in that sense. So, but if the Natalia is not in position to do all that, what I said, a very good theory on how it's going to be, if they did not execute that very well, then the Natalia would be, just going around the map, trying to farm out as much, and then try to push the turret, try to assassinate the turret. So Natalia has, I would say that in order to see how these games have to go, we have to see what Natalia is going to do. Is Natalia going to go around assassinating turrets? Or is Natalia going to go around assassinating the other side squishies?
I understand where you come from, because at the end of the day, you will see a lot of these teams play to their strengths, and I think the Singapore region is definitely a region that has a lot of strong players.
Yes, definitely.
And we as a region are really kept up to the meta. We don't. I would dare say that we don't really experiment with stuff. We stick to what's been proven, and then we try to improve on that, in terms of minute fixes to maybe the rotation, maybe how we take fights. And this is what I can observe from casting a lot of Singapore games, is that players don't usually go out of the norm. You won't see something like I think Digi is a really good example now. You won't see a Digi coming into this meta where, Singapore players will try something out of the box. They generally go for what's good, and they excel in doing that. So I guess in some sense you will, it's a bit predictable, but it's so hard to stop because of how good the heroes are. So for example, Leomord, slightly out of the norm, but that being said, still very viable. A hero that cannot be ignored. Decent damage output, decent farming speed. If you leave him alone for too long, he pushes the towers really quickly, and then he's got decent poke with range. He's got decent speed with the Phantom Steed to catch up on the emblems, like you said. So I guess in a sense, this is the strength of the Singapore region, where players are really competitive and the way they focus on the micro play, and yeah, they're just really good drafters. So I can't really fault them. I don't even think there is a fault in the draft, and I think the only thing that really intrigues me in that first games draft is Monarch, where they gave up the first ban. I think it's interesting. It's just very intriguing for me to kind of look at the team and they go, we're gonna give up a ban. We're very comfortable with it. I know they are. Look at the heroes that they picked up. It's super good. They obviously know how they're gonna run. You got the Cho, you got the Kaja, so they obviously have a game plan in mind. But I'll come back to the fact, why let go of that ban? And I don't know, maybe I'm just ranting because we had to wait 30 seconds till the next ban comes in. Couldn't they just ban Mia? Could have been all done over with it.
Yeah, well, to be honest, right, it kind of maybe I'm just giving in too much credit because I love giving credit to everyone. Like, but don't ask me for credit
You
card
get
bills.
the credit. You get the credit.
Everyone gets the credit. All right, so here's the thing. It feels like they know what they're gonna go for, regardless of what the enemy pick. I think that goes to show like these are the bunch of heroes that I'm gonna pick. I am gonna stick with it, no matter what other heroes that your opponent pick. Maybe it's like even though it might counters you, I'm not gonna go for that. I'm gonna go for something I really know. So it kind of fit the profile of Singaporean players, like what you said earlier on just now. So yeah, that's my take. Maybe they're just too comfortable with it doesn't matter, to be honest. They couldn't care less because they focus on rotation, they focus on the macro play. Because I would say that this game, like I said over and over again, I sound like a broken record. It's not about the kills, it's not about the basically the bragging rights or how many times I kill. It's not about getting the maniac, getting the savage. It's about pushing the turrets. It's about getting the objectives on time and then riding the waves on to crumble onto your enemy. I think one exhibit that I would have to point out from our previous game, which is the Petrock game just now that we saw, the bad call is what actually costed the game. So this is the kind of game where if you commit to one thing, you have to commit fully. You cannot commit something half-heartedly and then just let it go. So I would say that they kind of committed since, well, I'm not going to ban one. So I'm just going to pick a very comfortable pick. In fact, they've got a lot of CCs on their end. They've got the damage as well on their end. They've got a very strong grok as well.
Absolutely.
So I would say that I'm actually, to be honest, all we have to do right now is just wait for the game and to see what kind of, I would say, shenanigans they might pull out.
Yeah, obviously, I think the game is having a little bit of issue. They are the game's just a little bit wonky now. So don't worry. We'll try to get the game up to you. And obviously, I think the teams are going through. I think they're already in game. So a little bit unfortunate. A big sorry to you guys because we can't give the game earlier. But I assure you the teams are already in game. So yeah, I guess in some sense, these two teams are really good. I mean, both of them are in the upper brackets. And as we look through the brackets, they haven't dropped a game because it's all a best of one.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see a best of 3 grand finals. So the question is, if you meet a strong team, for example, if Monarch knows Divinity Power is strong, vice versa, both of them know that they are really good, do you throw everything forward in this upper bracket finals, or do you test something out? Do you just go for something which you want to experiment with, which is what we saw coming to Indonesia tournament, and basically don't review everything, because that if you bid, for example, if I'm Monarch, right, I know I'm gonna bid I want to bid Divinity Ball play, and I know if I throw everything at them, and even if I win, I still have to. There's the possibility of me meeting them again in the grand finals, and that's a best of 3, so that's a minimum of 2 more games. If I throw everything at them now, if I review my strongest draft, I review a pocket pick in the upper bracket finals, is that a big risk? Because I'm just gonna tell them that, hey, this is a cheese pick that we're gonna have in the grand finals, and they'll just take it out. Is that something that you will consider going into upper bracket finals, or do you say, no, I'm just gonna throw everything at them? I'm going to give my strongest draft every single time, and I'm confident enough that it will be, sufficient to take them down.
Well, Aris, that's actually a valid point right here, because I actually have been asking myself this whole day, since this is the best of 1, what should I do? I have to throw my best card down. But then again, there's also a problem about these people coming back at me once again at the, I've already shown them my best card. And suddenly, if they come back from the grave, from the loser brackets, I would say, what am I going to do? To be honest, I would say my strategy is, I'm going to put my best card forward. That's my case of, just to show them, hey, I know this game very well. So I'm just going to show my best card forward, because my best card forward is definitely the kind of picks that I've practiced a lot. And of course, win a match, and just in the off chance. But to be honest, how big is this off chance about them popping by from the loser bracket? So you know what? Once you show them your best card forward, you get rid of them. Maybe when it comes to the just in case, when they come back from the loser bracket and we meet again in the grand finals, they got to think about hey, you know what? I put my best card forward again. what's your play? And plus, don't forget, this is the best of three, so I can afford to make mistakes. If my best card forward doesn't work, that's when I can swap it out. Because like, if you put your best card forward, you kind of like scare the other team a little bit. That's my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand that. And
Mhm.
you know, I just got word for production. You know what? I know you guys are waiting for the games. We are as well.
Yeah.
We're eager to find out. So you know, calm down. Don't worry. You know, don't go rioting the chat. We'll go for a short break. When we are back, hopefully we can reconnect in the game. If not, we will announce the result between Monarch and DVT Power Play. So don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, this tournament is brought to you by Asus ROG, and finalists will stand a chance to win the Asus ROG GT-AX 11000, the lag-free and low-latency gaming router with one-click mobile boost. You can also get the GT-AX 11000 when you sign up for MyRepublic's Gamer Fiber Broadband. Go to myrepublic.net/sg/gamer for more information. Alright, and we are back. Music's a little bit loud, but don't worry, we'll get the game going really soon. And you know, I gotta say, unfortunately we didn't manage to catch the upper bracket finals, but we have the results. I know a lot of you guys are spamming the chat because some of you guys are you guys are friends with DVT, and you know, we're here to make the official announcement. Monarch lost in the upper bracket finals, so they are going to go down to lower bracket finals to face Divinity, while DVT Power Play, so there's two DVTs, two different DVTs. DVT is going against Monarch in the lower bracket finals, so it's also going to be a best of one, and the winner of that game is going to go up into the grand finals to face off against DVT Power Play.
Yeah, thank you very much, Eris, for the update. I am actually very excited to see like people cheering for their team. So you know what, if you have like a friend on basically playing live for us right now, what are you waiting for? Just we don't mind if you spam, because we really love all the spam, and not just us. Actually, the teams, they're probably gonna look back to these replays and they're gonna say, hey, you know what, you've supported for me, and that's definitely gonna be a huge morale boost for all of them as well. As you can see, we're flashing the brackets for you guys right now so that all of you actually are a little bit more aware. Especially for me, I'm a very graphic person, so like studying this bracket right now, it kind of makes a lot more sense to me.
Yeah, pretty much we like, you know, like I said, I think the bottom one, the grand finals, is pretty much it's supposed to say lower bracket finals, but don't worry, you know, the graph is pretty accurate. We will see DVT up against Monarch, and so DVT Power Play send them down to lower brackets. Can the other DVT squad complete the job? So let's just see about that. Meanwhile, we do have a very interesting team in DVT. In fact, I recognize a lot of the players here. I recognize Edemir, I recognize Hila, I recognize WQXD, I recognize WJ. So definitely a very stacked team. I wonder how they actually got into the lower bracket finals, because such a stacked team. So I'm dying to find out what they will do in the grand finals. But hey, who knows? Monarch might, you know, stage a upset. And we'll see how that goes. Natalia once again getting banned out, Kimi banned out as well, Kaja being banned out, Velo on the board, Uranus is on the board. A lot of heroes still available. I mean, with Velo still not banned out, I think that kind of opens up the Atlas.
The Claw's definitely going to be the pick for Monarch right here. So DVT, I really like the fact that you can kind of pointed out like the red team, they basically have two picks almost immediately, so they can lock down two of their champions very quickly. So if they were to pick maybe an Atlas, like what you said, kind of very good, I would say an alternative for Kufra, but then the Villa is still open, like what you like. Basically, Eris, your favorite champion hero, is still very wide open. Speaking of which, Divinity going for Grok and a Troll. Troll definitely what I always call him a budget Kaja if you ask me.
Yeah, to an extent, like the role they fulfill is kind of same, pretty similar. You know, you try to catch someone out, although you know Cho over here, I think he does suit the off lane a lot better, like in the solo lane on the side. Because he does have a little bit more sustainability. You know, he has a little bit more CC as compared to the in comparison to the Kaja to a certain extent, but I'm more interested in the Grok pick. The fact that DVT pick it, I feel like it's a comfort pick for Hila. I've seen him play the Grok. He's plays a wonderful Grok, and I think that's going to be the main source of damage early game with the power of nature. They also pick up the Granger to follow up. You know, we know Granger, if you hyper carry him well enough, he will go into the late game. He will be able to hyper carry the team, and he will definitely be looking. I'm more interested to see what kind of build he goes into, whether he wants to go for Endless better. You know, the old build for Granger used to be straight for Blade of Despair. You know, you try to stop it and talk a lot of damage, and then you go to Berserker's Fury and all that. But you know, with Endless Battle being a very cheap item, and the fact that a lot of marksmen are going for it because of how useful it is. It's cheap to get. It has decent stats. And so, yeah, it reduces cooldown. It has everything you want for a marksman. So I don't see why heroes wouldn't pick it. You also get the bonus damage after every skill. So I think that's an additional bonus to why MMs take it.
I would say that especially for Endless Battle, right, for the Grandeur is extremely wonderful because Grandeur is a skill-based character. So not as in mechanical skill, but basically he needs to land all the skills. So every time he casts a skill, he's going to proc that Endless Battle. So other than carry, Grandeur is definitely going to be benefiting. We're looking at Cillian and the Camilla pick for Monarch side already.
Yep.
The power duo.
Concern of the lack of a hard tank early game. Like Jawhead's pretty good, but he's definitely gonna be. Okay. So they can kind of go two ways here. They can have the Camilla follow the as the roaming support, or they can have Jawhead follow the roaming support. Either way, they're gonna have one the other in the off lane. I think the Jawhead should go to the side lane. It's gonna perform a lot better compared to Camilla.
Yes.
I have official games where Camillas don't do well in the side lanes. Reason being, it's really squishy. She's not exactly a fighter role. She's good, she can sustain, but she's not as effective as a Jawhead. That's in the side lane, he has more damage with the smart missiles, he has more burst, more sustain in general, and I think it's just a lot better. But yeah, Camilla on the side lane doesn't really suit my taste. That being said, maybe Monarch's more comfortable with that, and they decide to go for both. We'll see Atamu's Kagura being the last two picks coming in for the side of Divinity. I like this Kagura pick. Honestly, we haven't seen too many Kagura prior to this season. We kind of saw her fall off a bit because of the introduction of Lilia, introduction of mages that just outskill Kagura for the most parts of the game. And with the hyper carrying coming back, she's just there to add additional damage compared to Lilia, where she's just that early game snowball. So you put it alongside Granger and you have like plenty of team fight available for the side of Divinity.
Yes, I totally agree with you, and especially on that point where if you see right now, Camilla is being used as a support to both Sicilian and Claude. So there's another problem I need to point out for Camilla is that she doesn't really have a hard engage, as in there's no flash in, those jumping skills, where as Camilla's kit relies very heavily on being in the middle of the enemy team where she can proc her Blood Rose and then so that she can actually heal as much as she can. Speaking of it, look at that, Grok going in with the power of nature and gonna pick up that kill.
Absolutely. Like I said, the early game composition of the team definitely going the way of Divinity, and I guess the biggest threat to them is the scaling of the Claude. If the Claude goes late game, then that might be a little bit of a threat for them because they don't have the lockdown as compared to what they have. You have that bursty comp going into Blazing Duet, tries to root the backline kind of thing for Monarch, and obviously Divinity. They recognize the threat and they try to end this game as early as possible. And Healer, he decided to go for the marksman. I mean, he does generally play the marksman role, so I don't really blame myself for kind of got off guard for that. But Divinity now currently up ahead. They got the 2 Qs. They've upped in 700 gold, and the next major objective is definitely going to be the turtle. But for now, I would expect Divinity to pressure the side lanes pretty soon. They're just going to pick up the red buff in the jungle, and then pressuring the side lanes is going to be important. Whereas for the side of Monarch, they need a little bit more time on this Claude. They definitely do need that Demon Hunter sword to come up online. And talking about Demon Hunter Sword, we're talking about the Claude Monchichi, he took the Purify, so that's pretty much just to serve as a protection against the troll that will be looking to jump on him in between team fights.
Yeah, not only just the troll, he also have to take good care of the Kagura as well, and the Grok stun as well. And look at that, another fight going down the top lane. Ooh, no way that Jawhead can survive that 4-man gank up to the top lane, and it seems like Divinity is definitely going to take down that top lane. But don't forget, other than Claude for the Monarch side, it feels like a very late game based kind of matchup for Monarch. You have the Sicilian as well, who scales like a monster. He already is in the late game with the Camilla as well. these two, I would say Monchichi, the Claude, as well as the Sicilian will be the main damage carry, but Sicilian really, really needs to land the Sanguine Claws like right now.
Absolutely, we're gonna see them launched out. They went in for the blue invade, and I don't think they will get anything here. But Divinity did manage to pick up 2 kills. They got the kill onto Sicilon first, and then onto the Claude, and now the Jawhead falls. And I think Diablo and Damons might have a little bit of difficulty trying to get away. Camilla trying to buy a little bit of space, but she's drawing more of the members towards nah, it's fine. She's dead. I was about to say that they were drawing her to the Masha, but I don't think Masha will be able to do much but split push. So how long can Monarch hold this middle lane? Because the longer they can hold, the more this Masha is going to push. But for now, DVD is going to back off. They recognize that the turtle is up, and that's obviously their main objective for now.
I really like what you actually pointed out, Singaporean players. Early on, we're watching these, the Indonesian players, whereas Indonesian players, they kind of like to surprise you with those weird pocket picks. Like early on just now, we saw the Hanzo, but right now when we're looking at Singaporeans, they kind of go for the macro play. They don't really, it's not that they don't really care about what kind of heroes they pick, but if you look at the rotations coming out from Divinity, take down the mid, you know what, after that, I'm going to rotate back to the turtle, and almost after immediately going to go back and try to defend the split push and apply pressure at the bottom lane. As you can see right now, Hilla is just trying to push down this bottom turret, whereas the top turret is already pushed. It's really, really textbook coming out from Divinity, if you ask me.
Yep, they're trying to isolate this, I would say this Masha away from the rest of the team. We do see the power charge coming in, followed by the Death Sonata. Red Sophie gonna miss a couple of shots, and Cho is gonna be a little bit late to the party, but he's already out of the jungle, and that's gonna allow Divinity to push down the first tier turret. And the bottom side, we see Tamus pressuring the top, or the tier 2 in the top lane. So obviously, Divinity very objective focused, like we said, and they're probably gonna group up for this middle one. The wall not really coming through. I think they tried to trap the Claude there, but they really managed to get that in their favor.
Yes, and don't forget Divinity. Right now, they're kind of in a like a ticking clock. Then they really need to not to drag this game as long as possible. Don't make sure that the Claude don't get enough farm. Make sure the Sicilian don't have like the overflow passive. So I really like what Divinity is doing right now. Just gonna push down the lanes, making sure the Masha as well, who actually benefits from farms and all this kind of stuff, but basically not giving him any leeway of farming.
Absolutely, and we're gonna see a lot more aggression coming from Divinity as they go into the bot lane. The wall is good. They get the wild charge, and they're gonna get the knock up onto the Masha. Finds that small pocket of space to escape back into a base. Divinity, well, they don't really care about the kill. They're more interested in picking up the turrets as well as the jungle buff. And you know, we know how pesky it is when the Claude doesn't get his rape buff. They have that reduction in not reduction, but he doesn't get that bonus attack speed. And more importantly, they get it for themselves. They're gonna secure the turtle. And the next time it comes up, I think it should be what was it? They can choose to either let go of the turtle or just let the Lord spawn. Either way, it's fine because they're just up ahead in terms of goal lead, and you know they can actually forcefully end this game before 10th minute if they pick up one more good team fight.
Exactly, but don't forget Divinity, even though they are super ahead right now in terms of the gold lead and the turret lead, especially the turret lead. Look at that turret lead, 6 versus 0. Monarch did not actually manage to drop a single turret, but look at Masha going in a very weird angle.
Yep, weird angle indeed, but you know, she was kind of like the isolation from Divinity is just so strong. Every single time a player of Monarch comes up, they just get tossed a back ejector coming up from the Jawhead. That might be good, but he's just so far away from his rest of teammates. He gets taken off, and oh my goodness, the crit coming out from the Gregor, it's more than enough to take down the Sicilon. And now, like I said, the threat of the 10 minutes coming through. Diablo does manage to thunderclap right onto the Grog. They pick one kill off, but they do trade it out. And obviously, Divinity is going to be really happy with the trade because not only did they get a kill, they get the game in hand. And that is more than up for the count. Congratulations to Divinity. And looks like we will be seeing an all Divinity finals.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's really, really scary right now, but especially how Divinity from this game very very clean gameplay. Look at how they rotate from the mid to the turtle, then to the bottom, then to the top, and the Thamus. Even though we don't really see much action from the Thamus, but look at his score 304, winning the offlaner of the Jawhead already is, especially look at Jawhead 030 as well. So definitely, I would say very textbook coming out from Divinity, and this is definitely going to elevate them all the way to the grand finals, where they'll be facing their own team again, I would say.
Yep. It's not exactly the same team, but it is from the same clan or group, or I'm not sure what kind of tag they prefer. But it is also from Divinity. So there's Divinity and Divinity Power Play. Or just call it Power Play just for ease sake. But both Divinity teams facing in the grand finals. It's gonna be pretty interesting, and this is pretty much a deja vu.
Yes, I was about to point that.
Indonesia a region, because that's what happened. We saw two teams with the same tags going up against one another, and now it's happening for the Singapore qualifiers all over again. But I gotta say that was a really strong performance. They were really sure of the draft. They pick up the Grok. Super early game. They pick up the Granger that doesn't really need much farm to be effective. I didn't really catch the itemization again because it was just so quick.
Yeah, it was too
and I guess in some way it was a little bit, I wouldn't say greedy, but it was a little bit interesting to see that Monarch did go for the Camilla as well as the Sicilon. So the couple getting picked up, we don't really rarely see teams do that nowadays. Like when it first came out, you would ban either one, and there were even cases where you would ban both because people just didn't know how to deal with them. And now that they've been scaled down, Moonta's kind of reduced the stats, especially the scaling of I would say Camilla, and people are figuring out how to win against Sicilon. They're not really effective in the meta anymore, although Sicilon's still pretty effective given certain situations. We've seen that happen in other games, and in this one it just didn't work out. But yeah, we didn't really get the opportunity to see the Moonlight Walls coming out, the combo with Camilla transforming into the Vermilion Shadow, and that was a little bit of the I would say that's the only downside I took from that game. But other than that, I think both teams did decently, but it was just TV that was constantly one step ahead compared to Monarch's rotations.
Yes, and don't forget, they really tried to close down the game super early on. I think that game was perhaps less than 10 minutes or just around 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's around there. It's quite
around there, right?
Actually, quite similar to the upper bracket finals, where although it was off stream, but the really was also had like a less than 10 minutes game. So it was really quick, and it kind of shows that the entire group is really strong. And for both DVD teams to be able to finish games this quickly, I'm all I have to say is it's going to be an interesting grand finals, because they probably scream with one another. They probably even play with one another in ranked games. So to a certain extent, they will know how each other play. They will know how the opponents are going to drop. They will know what's the comfort picks and bans. They will know what are the pocket picks that they have up their sleeves. So that's gonna be all out of the window. I guess it's all down to mind games now on which heroes they're willing to compromise, which heroes they're willing to give to their opponents. But yeah, I'm sure that whatever happens, well, may the best Divinity team win.
Well, very well said, Aris. But to be honest, I would say that yes, they've met each other. I really like to see some mind games going on. Don't forget, doing for the grand finals is a best of 3, not just a best of 1. So I really want to see what kind of weird strategies that the both teams are gonna pick, because I bet there'll be respect bans coming out from both sides. I would say, because they know each other, they play with each other very well. Really, really nice of you to point out that this exact same scenario that we got ourselves into in a day earlier, where we have Remo Petrok versus Remo Balata. I can't remember all of a sudden. Yeah, so both Remo going up against each other, and it's probably gonna be not just a deja vu for us, it's also gonna be a deja vu for them as well. Can you imagine like going into practice round before this tournament, they're just playing each other over and over again, and suddenly, hey, you know what? It's like, that Spider-Man meme where it's like,
Yeah, and not only that, they were playing in another tournament. I believe that before this, before the MyRepublic Gamer Arena was happening, they were playing in another tournament. So I haven't caught up the results, but I'm sure they would have some decent games in that. And they're a really strong team. We saw them going up against EVOS SG in the Invitational last year, and then we also saw them did really well in a couple of other I can't really remember all the tournaments they've been because they've been so many, but they've generally achieved decent results, like podium finishes throughout. And now, well, both teams are already secured that podium finish, and now it's just a matter of bragging rights that's on the table for both of these two teams. So I think we will go for a short little break, just to give teams a little time to breathe, but they are getting to the lobby already. But with that being said, a short break when we are back to grand finals for never mind, just as I was about to announce the break, they are ready. So I guess that's good for you and me as well as the viewers at home, because you know how angsty Singaporeans are. They can't afford to wait a minute. They're kiasu like that. I'm also kiasu, and I'm just gonna incite more rage in the viewers. Hopefully they get angry, like throw the I love it, like throw the toxicity towards me. But yeah, I guess it is that's just how we play, and we translate that into the game. We are so kiasu, like we don't want to lose the game, that we end the game early. Let's just quickly end the game, not give the opponents a chance to fight back. And I'm happy that we're consistent, not only outside of the game, but in game as well. Wow, I'm pretty amazed.
A very well versed summary, and if you ask me, but to be honest, I'm actually really excited the fact that all of a sudden we've gotten word from the production that they are going back into the game almost immediately, and I bet they are also excited as all of us right here want to show who is the best Divinity team. I don't really like to pit them together, but you know what? I'm just gonna pit them together just for the sake of drama, and I can feel the pitchforks and torches coming at me from the comment section from Facebook or Twitch.
Accept them like I did. Accept the fact that you're gonna be torn to shreds, because that's how it is. And there's always there's always going to be a winner loser in every tournament, and unfortunately this is the case as well, where two teams who are friends are about to see I can't imagine losing to the other team and having to swallow it down for the rest of the year, let alone like today. I'm sure it's going to go on in their own respective group chats for coming weeks. But yeah, they are ready. We are waiting for the last member to enter the lobby. But what are your predictions? I mean, take away the fact that there's a team that came in for the upper brackets, there's another team that came in for the loser brackets. It doesn't really matter, because it's a grand finals, it's a clean slate, everyone starts from zero. But that being said, based off the games that you have seen, about only one game, which is Divinity,
it's kind of hard.
Yeah, it's really hard though. But I'm gonna press you for the prediction.
Oh my god. Here. To be honest,
don't say DVD will win. That's cheating. You can't say DVD will win, because obviously they'll win, but at the same time they will lose. So you have to choose the team.
It's kind of hard because, first of all, I'm not seeing the draft as well, so I cannot give you an accurate prediction. But judging from how Divinity won against Monarch early on just now, is that you saw how Divinity, they're super aggressive. They want to bring this and close it in the early game. So maybe perhaps if Divinity is using this strategy, would Power Play be meeting them with the same strategy as well? Will they be duking it out in the early game? So you're basically seeing all those early game heroes like Kibby, like Grandeur. Valer is definitely going to be on the table as well for this one. I'm very sure you'll see a Valer, or maybe he's banned, but who knows. But it's probably how I see this game for. Don't forget, there's also a best of 3. How I see the games are going to go is early aggression, and then suddenly someone emerges up top, and then the other one is forced to kind of defend as much as possible. So that's how I see from both sides. But I'm also kind of I'm actually kind of interested about all those respect bans as well, because they play with each other like what we've already been hyping up so much already. They play with each other. They probably know each other's, like perhaps one of them is a secret Ling user, so they're just gonna go ban Ling, and we'll never
let go of Ling, aren't you? You're just not letting go of the fact that Ling is. Come on, okay. I think Ling is not worth a pick anymore. There's just so many heroes that's better, and Ling is pretty hard to scale now. It's all about it's really about lane objectives at this point in time. Like the meta of the game requires you to push towers, requires you to push down lanes, and Ling just doesn't fit in there. He's good in team fights. He's decent in terms of picking up MMs. He's decent in terms of traversing lanes to lanes. But in terms of fitting into the meta, I feel like it's quite hard for him to find a spot in the game. You know, he's not exactly a fighter. He can't win in a 1v1 early game. You know, he requires a lot of farm to come online, and I guess against teams that are hyper carrying, it's just so hard to make it work, because hyper carry means that, you know, they're gonna stick around the MM. The teams are gonna rotate in force, and in sometimes you're gonna even see 5 men down your middle lane, and Ling just doesn't excel in that. He doesn't excel in that 1v5 situation.
But in another point of view, you know what? I would like to let's just continue discussion after the whole game, because I really like to discuss about all these heroes right now. Because to be honest, as a marksman main, Ling is just a pain in the backside. But as we can see right now, Kaja being banned from the blue, Divinity from the blue team, whereas power play Divinity as well from the red team. So we're just, for clarity's sake, we're just gonna call blue team Divinity and the red team power play. Agree, Aris?
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. I think DVD and power play does make sense. At the end of the day, that's the official name that they registered the tournament. So power play going to be banning out the Claude. I think they might be letting go of one ban here, similar to what Monarch did. I think it's pretty obvious that they definitely have something up their sleeves. They want to pick something. So they're trying to resist banning out any of the heroes that might be
giving away, right?
Yeah, they don't want to give away any 2 hints. We're gonna see the Selena pick up on the side of Divinity, while power play is gonna pick up the Kimi as well as the Cho. So I like this Cho pick. I feel like Cho is a priority pick for a lot of teams, and it's especially prevalent in teams that go second draft. In the first pick, you rarely see him because, you know, there's just heroes that you can pick. Like there's a Selena who, if you don't pick, is gonna get second picked. There's some people do choose to pick up the Kaja. Some people do choose to pick up. I know it's weird, but some people do first pick Jawhead. I don't know why, but they do for some reason. And it's not so much in Singapore games. In other region games, for some reason, they go Kaja first. Not Kaja, you know, but they go like Jawhead first, and then or Kufra. Like, it's just weird. But yeah, looks like power play will settle for the Valier. We spoke about the Valier, and true enough, it's here. It's picked. Gotta be honest, I'm leaning towards I think either side. Both sides do have a good chance. I'm not sure if this Bush is the Bush I know, but if he used to be a teammate with Hila. He also played with Ademir, if I'm not wrong. So WQXD as well. So all of them are pretty much old teammates.
So they know each other, and somehow they end up on the wrong side of the team.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to go into that, all the bad blood and all that stuff. But Jawhead's getting banned out. You know, good call. You know, Jawhead's definitely going to be a big threat against them. And respect ban coming out with the Krog.
Yes.
Did you need a fighter? I think Tamus is still open. Although against the Guinevere, I think he will do fine. Tamus should do fine.
Tamus should do fine with the Guinevere.
Leopold is also open, but at this point, I think Tamus Atlas. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I almost forgot about him. Yeah, I was like, you know, when you're going down the list of champions that they could have picked, and my only mind is thinking about Atlas, and then suddenly Atlas popped up, and like, yes, picked him.
Well, I thought they would pick a fighter first, but I guess, you know, they're not too worried. Because
they have a troll already, to be honest.
Yeah, the reason why I thought they would pick a fighter first, because the tank on the side of the Vidi has already been picked. Like a Krufa is out, so there really isn't a need to reveal your tank pick first. You can go for the last pick. But I guess, you know, they want to see what the Vidi picks before deciding what kind of fighter they want to put in the respective lane. So Atlas is fine because they already picked up the Valor, so they don't really have a threat on the side of the Vidi that can stop the Atlas. And obviously, you know, we know that he wants to go for that, you know, wombo combo coming up. They have the Searing Taurus, they have a lot of CCs, they have a lot of AoE fight. So, yeah, I guess power play, I don't know. Do they actually lock for the Gusion?
Yeah, if they were to lock for the Gusion, it kind of proved my point that they really want to go for that early game aggression. You saw the Cho, you saw the Kimi, you have the Valer as well. If they were to go for the Gusion, my bad, they're going to go for the Chang'e. Well, they kind of be like these roaming people from long range. So you have like the Kimi raining down the shots from long range. The Chang'e is going to go with the ultimate, especially with the Atlas going in and locking down the other divinity right there. Yeah, it's just going to be very interesting if you ask me. But coming up from Divinity side, though, they have a Harley. The Harley is definitely going to have to primarily target down the Chang'e or the Kimi at the very least, because, well, Kimi might be a little bit a bit too mobile for Harley after, the Harley combo jumping in, landing the ultimate. But Chang'e is a basically open season, so if I were Harley, removing Chang'e will be my prime priority, even though, to be honest, if I die, that is a potential threat eliminator, especially if Chang'e hasn't used her ultimate yet. So they really need to catch the Chang'e before the ultimate, render her useless, and then basically they lose a bunch of damage from the side of power play.
Yep, I think it's going to be a Valor off lane. I think Valor in the solo lane will do well.
You play Valor everywhere.
Yeah, I think Valor top, we're going to see Atlas roam with. I don't know, they have a lot of options available for them. They can even run 1-2-2 if they want. And that's just how flexible Impurity's, rather than Impurity. I keep saying Impurity because of the IMP in Impurity's name, but more of power plays drops. It's just very flexible. It's something they can run like a 1-2, and it looks like they are going for it. So, well, Marsha is definitely going to have a very happy time in the bot lane. She's going to be split pushing, while we actually saw Divinity just, make sure that they get their blue buff for now. And Valor is just going to be supporting Kimi up at top lane against this Guinevere.
I think with the Kimi and the Valor as a support, they are definitely going to win the top lane. However, they risk a little bit of Marsha at the bottom, but feels like Cho is going to go down to meet her in battle, basically turning into a 2-2-1. But the Selena, though, is actually going to be a tricky one. And at the same time, off screen, Guinevere already picked up the first blood, but Atlas actually running very low.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Abyssal Arrow actually landed, and then followed by a Magic Tom coming in from the Guinevere. So they have to be a little bit careful about that. Damage output coming out from Divinity has to be respected. By no means they are weak early game, despite power play having that Valor as well as the Kimi. And I would have loved to see power play a lot more aggressive. You have the Kimi to kind of cut the wave. But they didn't do that. But they did manage to get a kill onto Hila, who's playing the Selena. So that's pretty decent. Though Divinity, they do want to pick up a fight in the middle. Poker trick coming up from the Harley. Krufra's going to have the jump, and they did manage to get the kill onto the Atlas. One lane, they also get a kill onto the Cho. So 2 lanes in favor for Divinity now, and Marsha is definitely going to be really happy given that Cho is out of the picture. She's going to have a free push on that bottom turret.
Yes, and I would really like the fact that immediately after Cho goes down, more of the Divinity side is just going to go and provide some vision, provide some support for Marsha, whereas they focus down the bottom turret, whereas Divinity not really just going down with the top turret, I would say, because I thought there would be a trade, but no, they kind of rotated back in the middle. They really need to depend. Divinity definitely has to depend on the Selena, that landing those crucial Absol arrows. And right now, another teamfight happening in the mid lane.
Yep, nothing they can do there. We're gonna see the Valor go down for a second time, while Chang'e, using the ultimate that you speak of, they did manage to get a kill. I think Valor's complaining a little bit about lag, but there's absolutely nothing that we can do that. You should be using the ROG router, as I said. But yep, Meteor Shout coming up from Chang'e allows her to pick up a kill. And we're gonna see Chow with the Way of the Dragon. WJ uses the flicker, but oh my goodness, the BM in the chat. Oh, I don't know if you spotted that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know if you actually
typing.
that. Yeah, I'm not gonna say what they said, but hey, another kill coming into the bot lane. Marshall complaining that he's typing and that's why he died to the Cho. But hey, it is a competition, and fair play to power play. You gotta get whatever kill you can get. And I guess they just don't care. Nali coming in for Sunetics, but he will have to back off as the rest of Divinity clear the middle lane. And I just love to see 2 teams just having a little bit of fun. Fatal Links, that's not funny. He gets just 2 of them, but no follow-up from the Cho.
That was just a joke, I bet. That was a funny, funny link.
I guess. Guys, no one gave me the memo. Am I supposed to go into Fatal Links?
Yes, but to be honest, I really like the fact that they kind of have like a little bit of fun at the same time, tossing those emojis left, right, center, just talking a little bit, having a little bit of fun, but they kind of allow them to like forget that they're in the tournament right now. Ooh, nice catch up by the Guinevere.
Yeah, went into the Magic Town, follow up with the Magic, follow up by the Valor of Vacuum, and we're gonna have Swoop have a little bit of trouble defending this top side Meteor Shower. We're gonna zone her out of the first tier tower, and I'm pretty sure the next push is gonna allow them. Well, never mind that. Valor decided to go for the last poke. They will secure that tier 1 tower top side, and once again, we will see Marsha going down. Well, was she typing again? I'm not too sure. But she did go down into in the 1v1, and now Anale coming up. I can't blame the Marsha though, because Cho just has so much more damage in terms of that. You know, he has Chikundo, he's got Shimpu, he's got the whale. He needs to use it as well, and for both times we see it coming through. Power play in a little bit of trouble, sticking around for too long. Harley gonna be using the deadly magic as well as the poker trick to pick up a double kill, and Divinity now is biting back. Did they manage to get a tier 2? But I guess they need to start pushing the tier 2 soon.
Yes, and to be honest, if you compare Cho and Masha at the bottom lane, if Cho were to play his cards right, if he plays his skills right, he definitely can burst down a Masha. But if Cho actually extended the fight just a little bit, Masha can actually appear even higher, over the Cho, in my opinion, because Masha has a huge amount of DPS coming out, and look at that. Ooh, Fatal Link's going down.
Yeah, catches 2 members there, or tries to catch 2 members there, but once again, no follow-up from the rest of power play. I guess all of this is just defensive Fatal Links. They're just trying to buy time for this Chang'e to build up in terms of items, and we're gonna see San pick up a kill onto the Marsha. Marsha definitely not having a very good game because of the aggression coming from power play. They're just looking to gank the Marsha whenever she's up. So kind of PT WJ at this point, but you know, San's gonna go down, so pretty good trade, I would say. Siri Torres is gonna keep them away from the middle of the lane, and in fact, a little bit of an overkill. And they get the kill on the Harley, and a little bit of back and forth from these two teams. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I really kind of like it because, like, to be honest, it's not really fun to see like a team like completely one-sided, especially when these two teams are actually from the same team as well. I look at that Atlas, the going down with the Fatal Links as well, I bet, and the Chang'e is just gonna ensure that Guinevere stays down with her ultimate Meteor Shower as well. Really, I really like the fact that there's like a back and forth, like so little tug of war. Especially we might be seeing this for 3 games as well. So it's definitely gonna be extremely nice for all of our viewers as well as us right there. And Atlas, a little bit crying face from Kufra as well. They're just having fun.
Absolutely. Power play picks up the turtle, but I tell you what's not fun: losing. Losing is definitely not fun, and as much fun as these teams are having fighting out one another, I guarantee deep down they want to win the game badly. That is just how it is. You can't avoid that competition between the teams. And Divinity now stepping into power plays jungle, setting up the Tyrant's Rage, and the Tyrant's Revenge didn't really catch anyone significant there, but he's got the Magic Ball standing up on top of Sand, and Sonatic's gonna take 1 for the team, gonna go down for the 4th time, and Divinity power play find themselves without a tank, which means the other Divinity can start to look to push.
Yes, definitely. You can see that they're already immediately rotating. It feels like Divinity know where power play is all the time, ganking the Marsha, all this kind of stuff. It's really, really well done, I would say. They're very decisive on whatever they're doing. If they're gonna get this blue, they want to get this blue. If they want to get this Marsha, they want to get this Marsha. But speaking of which, right now, it feels like look at that. A little bit of scuffle right there between Kimi and Guinevere. A little bit overextended, if you ask me, for Guinevere right there, giving the kill towards Cho. Yes, Cho gets a kill, but Cho kind of falls off in the late game. So not really going to be anything. It's not as valuable as giving the kill. But speaking of which, another team fight going on.
Yeah, but Cho did manage to get the solo kill after all at the bottom lane for what seems like the 3rd time in a row. But Hila overextending a little bit with the Selena will get isolated and will get taken out by power play. But I'm going to contest your statement there. I think Cho at the late game is still really useful. You've got Chikundo, you've got Way of the Dragon, 2 huge CCs, and he's gone for the Blade of Despair. So you can see that this is a Cho with damage. So you can't really ignore the Cho late game, and you know Bush has been contributing to a lot right now. You know, she's taken out the Marsha for a third time, and you know DVD power play, I guess in some sense is taking a little bit slow. I mean, both sides don't really have a commitment in the 5v5 at this point. They're just picking off stray members off the map. So until we see the first team fight really happen around the Lord speed, I guess that is where the next objective obviously make the objective the most sense right now would be the Lord. And they're trying to get a gank onto Swoop. They managed to get out with the magic Tom, but they get her the fatal links combo, the suplex. And I guess that is a tap out coming out from Swoop. And not only that, they might find even more at the middle. Biting back, Space Trick coming up with the deadly magic, gets the kill onto the Chang'e. And Nalia coming up with Sonetics to try to slow the Krufa. And at bot lane for the 4th time, we do see Marsha going down. Magic Ball onto Valor. And Selena's just going to get the easy kill, sweeping up the fight now. But not too careful, they might find themselves always standing a little bit. Deadly magic onto Sonetics, gonna be more than happy to soak that up for the Kimi. And this is where well, if you leave Kimi for too long, a blast to the face, a bit of an overkill, but it is necessary to secure the kill on the Harley. And no Space Trick is gonna pretty much save you from that. And DVD power play can now look to take the Lord.
Yes, I really like the fact that, you know, that was a very long drag team fight, but not only that, the actions happening on top lane, there's some actions happening at the bottom lane where you see Marsha and Cho duking it out. But I don't really like the fact that, you know, Cho did not press onto the turret. That is a free and open turret right there. Immediately after you take down the Marsha, and there's like, they're all up there taking down team fight, and then after that they can take down Lord. This could actually be a lot more. Cho can actually build a lot more advantage if he actually presses down that turret. But I really kind of admit, look at that Cho going legendary. That is not a very fun Cho to be meeting with, especially if you're Divinity side.
Yep, and well, the Cho did manage to pick up the Endless Battle, so that's going to help in the cooldown as well as the pure damage in terms of damage contribution. Tyrant's Rage onto a Cho, not much that the rest of Divinity can follow up with. We do see that Harley is still on the death counter, and even Swoop has to use Magic Tom and his base to get out of trouble. W2J still trying to go for the split push, and I guess this pretty much is GG. DVD power play with 1 game in hand.
Yes, and we saw that very decisive play with the Chang. Not only that she uses her ulti for the damage, it's used very well done with the zoning, especially with the Frost Queen. If I'm not mistaken, that item that slows you down for the spell.
Ice Queen 1.
Ice Queen 1, that is absolutely crucial for the Chang'e as well, being able to slow down as much as she could. But to be honest, with your Ares, we saw a lot of fatal links that were goes down, but doesn't really hit the mark.
Yeah, I guess the fatal links were not that. Although it's crucial, but I think the more important part was that DVD power play, they had a game plan in mind, as that the later the game goes, the better it is, because we have a Kimi. She still has room to grow. Like, you saw the Ice Cream one, you saw the Glowing one getting picked up. There was no BOD yet, and she was already halfway through. So I guess in some sense, the later the game goes, the more room there is for the heroes to grow. You know, you got Chang'e, whose damage is also pretty respectable towards the late game. She's got Ice Queen 1. You know, you get the meteor shower down, and it does hurt quite a bit. And it's an excellent skill to zone opponents out. And zoning is one of the specialties in the heroes that are power play picked up. Right? You got the Kimi, you got the Valor, you've got Chang'e, 3 heroes that are really good at zoning. Atlas with the fatal links, and last but not least, you got Cho that has the Way of the Dragon to further even isolate any members that might be in a bad spot. So I just what I'm trying to say is that there is a very healthy balance in the draft. It's pretty aggressive because of the early game potential. It's a good late game. Because you have damage contribution from the Cho, you got good damage, damage contribution from the Chang'e, and you know Harley obviously, you know. Not Harley, but Kimi obviously will put out a lot more damage over time compared to the Harley. So I guess that gamble coming up from DVD didn't pay off.
Yes.
But we did see that they tried to make something work. I think Masha pick was a little bit iffy. Like it wasn't even the playstyle, it was just a matchup. Like a Cho versus a Masha, Cho has more CC. Masha can't really get her life still going, and the fact that Cho did manage to get three kills on her. Okay, we'll exclude one because she was typing. Okay, he or she was typing. So we'll take one out of the bucket. Okay, the other two kills though, pretty. By then, the Cho's pretty fat, and he's definitely gonna have an easy time dealing with her. And so she didn't really have enough space to split push. I think it's just one of the reasons why she didn't seem as efficient in the game.
Yes, and don't forget that power play kept ganking the Masha, helping the Cho to get up as much as much kills as possible. And don't forget, remember what I said, you asked me that question, how the prediction is going to go, right? I would say that Divinity kind of went of what I kind of said. They want to focus on the early aggression with the Harley, Selena as well, but that is not enough because you have, on the other side, for power play, you have the Kimi that can scale to the late game as well, and not only that she's strong in the early game, she kind of falls a little bit during the mid game wise, but Chang'e as well went online. And I did not, to be honest with you, Aris, I did not expect Cho to be going into pure damage because we've seen how Cho is being used in other games. He's used mostly as a utility champion, a utility hero kind of thing, where they're just gonna try to CC the main marksman so that the marksman doesn't do any damage. But this time around, we're seeing a damage Cho, and that is actually kind of interesting if you ask me.
Yep, absolutely. Then I guess it's pretty good. Both sides had a pretty good draft. Not a fan of the no MM. We have seen them from other games. We have seen games with 2 MM. We have seen games with no MMs. I've even seen games where they pick up like 2 mage, and that is what pretty much I think the Indonesia qualifiers are one of the teams that did that as well, like the no MM pick. It was pretty good. It worked out pretty well. And obviously, it's not always the case. So in that particular one, it just didn't work. I think they wanted to outpush the Masha. They were hoping that late game they had enough catch with the Selena and the Harley to burst someone down. I can kind of see where the idea was going with. They did manage to get the first blood. I think the Abyssal Arrow landed. They got the Magic Tom in at level 1, and I guess it's viable if you are ahead. When you're on the back foot, though, it's very hard to come back from that kind of draft because you don't really have an avenue. You don't have the damage over time. You don't have the DPS to take team fights well. You have burst, you have ganking skills, but you don't have something that if the fight lasts 20 seconds, you can consistently put damage because of the lack of a marksman.
Yes, and I really I really feel like a marksman not only just there to just deal the damage to the champions as well. You need someone who can deal damage with the auto attacks. Mages, they can't do damage from auto attacks. Fighters, yes, they can still kind of do damage via their auto attacks. However, they are melee. So basically, they have to spend some time to go up to the turret, get into melee range, and basically bash it down. But the problem is that amount of time is very crucial because it also kind of forces the fighter to go face deep, like head deep into the turret. And this means that this opens up to a lot of opportunities for the enemy to gank. For example, Masha. Masha, however, with the running skill, the skill that allows her to actually run quicker, that kind of help her. That's why you also see like other split push kind of composition. You have the Hayabusa as well with the quad shadow. They can basically get out of danger. You also have the Hellcat with the Darkness Falls that basically blinds anyone who tries to catch him, and try catching a Hellcat with his ulti on. If you can catch him, that's actually very good. But with that said, double MM, I really don't like it. I really have to say it a lot of times. Double MMs, like you really have to split your gold. So gold is a finite resource and it's very crucial. One of them get it or the other one doesn't. And we all know that marksmen, they rely on items a lot. So if you don't have an item, basically that's not a good MM. That's what we always call a super minion. But you know what? I think we're heading into game number 2 already.
Absolutely. I don't know. I got mixed feelings to MM. My views kind of differ from yours. just because I've seen firsthand how effective it is. I feel like the farming issue in terms of the net worth isn't really a problem if you know how to rotate well. And I mean, it only works with certain MMs. Like Popo and Lupa just does really well with the double MM strat because he's gonna be on the side lane. He's gonna get all the farm from the lane itself. He's pretty much gonna outpoke whatever fighter he's up against, and I guess that's where the success of the double MM comes in. You're basically finding an MM that can fulfill the role, that they can win in a 1v1, has the accessibility to avoid being ganked, and because of the traps set by Popo and Lupa, he's viable. But the threat in terms of the squishiness in terms of the Popo and Lupa getting picked up, it is a concern for some of the teams. And we do see the Valor as well as the Claude being picked up. Nice picks for Divinity. Power Play is going to settle for the Kufra, and they also banned out the Selena. So despite winning, they don't want to give the Selena over. So I think it's more of a target ban.
Yes, and don't forget the Divinity as well. They kind of also banned out the Cho. We saw how powerful the Cho is, but you know what? It seems like Power Play is going to go for the Farsa and the Kagura as well. We were talking about this earlier on. Maybe they're going for a double mage setup, but I don't see Kagura as a support. What do you think, Aris?
No, I don't think they're using her as a support. It's more of damage output. They just want to have that burst damage. Use the Simio Umbrella open into the Yin Yang overturn in team fights and just do a ton of damage in AoE. Hence why they kind of picked up the Kufra to set up with the Tyrant's Rage. And then, you also have the Farsa of the Feather Airstrike. So there's just a lot of avenues in terms of magical damage early game, and we spoke about Mage versus MM, how MM works better late game. Mage is there to fulfill the void of the gap of that damage in the earlier portions. So I'm only guessing, but it does make a lot of sense to me when I break it down. So I might just be going crazy over myself. That being said, we do see Divinity picking up the Atlas as well as the Uranus, so they're sticking to your guns.
Literally Granger.
Yes, literally guns. Granger picked up, Esperanza picked up, and last pick gonna be Leomord.
It feels like they don't really hesitate at all. It's like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna pick the Leomord. Boop, my turn. I just picked it almost immediately as well. Farsa can be quite tricky, I would say, as long as the Uranus doesn't find her and just stick to her like your I don't want to say that that thing I said during the break, but like how Uranus can literally stick onto a hero really well, no matter how mobile you can be, especially the Granger as well. And Uranus can soak up a lot of damage, and don't forget the Atlas going to Divinity as well, with the with the Claude ultimate. I think that's a very good wombo combo.
Yeah, I mean, you did point out the pros and cons of having. The pros of having a Uranus, and the reason why he has that movement speed is because of his ultimate, right? You got the consecration, and I think earlier in the previous stream where you talked about the wave clear coming from Uranus is not very high. I mean, I really beg to differ, right? You got Ionic Age, you got Transcendent Ward, two skills that have a lot of damage to creeps. Sure. It's AoE, you clear it really quickly, and I guess the point that you're trying to make is that Uranus doesn't push towers quickly. Yes, he doesn't have damage on the towers, but what he does have is insane wave clear speed. And what he does here is that he tries to isolate the laner that he's fighting against, and basically try to stop their farm. Yes, I talked about it. I said that a good Uranus is going to cut the second tier wave. Look at the map now. Healer's going to go down, but I'm focusing more on the Uranus. He's cutting that tier 3 and tier 2 in the top lane. Meanwhile, there's all sorts of action going on. See me open Umbrella onto WQXD. Immediately goes down. Anima might go down pretty shortly. One more shot from Sonatic. They miss one kill, but see me open Umbrella from Radiant will get the job done. And Power Players got me all hyped up now. They will also walk into the jungle of Divinity to get that blue buff, the yummy blue buff. But before that, they also want to pick up a snack in the Leomord, and Soup decides to deny that snack.
Yes, to be honest, right? You know, when you're talking about Uranus, I bet your focus is on at the bottom, at the top lane where Uranus is just going ahead with fire.
Hold on, but now jumping in, Krufra comes in with the Tyrant's Revenge, follows with the Magic Ball. I guess that's a little bit of an overdive, but I don't think they will be able to get it. No, they do! What is WQ actually doing there? But the Flame Shot coming up from the Valir will secure the Q onto the Kagura. A little bit of a small win for Divinity, but now they will have to back up because both Edemir as well as Healer are really low. And
whoa, look at that Uranus at the bottom. Now it's my turn. Look at the Uranus at the top lane right now. Playing super aggressively.
Yep, but the issue is he kind of missed the creep there. The creep's already in lane. I think WJ is gonna give one Q here. QD just making sure that, you know, he's prepared for the jump coming up from WJ, just to make sure they can secure the Q. So eventually they get the kill on the Uranus. And not the best times for Divinity in this first half of the game.
Yeah, it feels like, you know what? Why recall when you can just die and teleport back to lane?
Absolutely, and better Ash back there. Gonna pick up the Q onto Healer. And power play just practically doing what as the name suggests, it is a power play in this point in time.
Yes, and to be honest, let's just take a step back for a moment, alright? I think we focus on Uranus being annoying at the top lane, and all of a sudden a lot of action happening around the mid lane where they bring it a little bit to the blue buff area, and feels like right now the action is not stopping.
Yep, Phantom Steed coming up from the Lilmore. They get another Q onto Swoop, and it's gonna be pretty hard for Divinity to bounce back. I mean, they can, but WQ actually definitely needing a little bit more time to ramp up those items. Uranus is going to go down for the second time, and that is actually one Fed faster if you think about it. 3-0. You know, she's getting all the farm in the top lane, not sharing with anyone. Meanwhile, middle lane, Ademir dropping really low, still looking for the ultimate, but already used it, and it's all cooldown. And power play, they managed to push Divinity back. They should be able to push this tier 1 really soon, but Swoop comes back. Divinity's, they're just committing to defending this tier 1. They just don't want to see go down, and they're just giving Qs after Qs in hopes that power play would give up taking this tier 1 tower in the mid.
Yes, and to be honest, you saw that very clutch flame shot as well coming from Kagura early on as well, taking down one of Divinity down. To be honest, if you're low and you're trying to back off, and can you imagine the rage coming on from getting killed by a flame shot? That's definitely gonna tilt you to the ends of the earth.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a reason why they kind of nerfed the flame shot, or you know, the base damage, because it was just a little bit too high previously.
Yeah.
And you know, you put down the Valir, and you pretty much at level 1, you have like this insane amount of nuke on a mage that has so much burst. It has a decent CC, and you know, also has Searing Torrents, which can push opponents away if they try to close the gap on him. We do see a pause coming up from Divinity, so I think one of the players is facing a little bit of internet issues with lagging. So I kind of suggest that, you know, I just want to plug that in. You should get the GTAX 11,000 router, because
yeah, but I think
that's it. It's lag free, has low latency. It's a low latency gaming router, and it also has a one-click mobile boost.
Yeah, I mean, like if one of them win, they're actually gonna get the router as well. So that's definitely gonna help either side of the game, because some games are kind of determined based on your internet speed. So getting that edge with MyRepublic's gaming fiber broadband definitely gonna be helpful.
I love how we plugged that in. We do see a Blazing Duet coming up from the claw just to farm the middle wave. Meanwhile, Uranus already pushing the bottom side. I guess for Divinity, the longer they can hold on to this, the more space there is for this Uranus to push. He already took the tier 1 top. He's working on the tier 2 in the bottom. And Divinity definitely clawing their way back into this game. And just sacrificing himself to delay this push coming off a power play. They should be able to get this trick onto the Kagura. One more tower shot will do the trick, although it's credited to Healer. And I think with Healer connecting back, I don't know, did he actually connect the Asus ROG GTAX 1100? That was pretty smooth for me. And Greg going to pick up one more kill in the middle. Annihilate, not in the range of any of the heroes of power play, and they forced their way through. Power play is like, you know what, we had enough of this. We're just gonna 5-man mid and just push and bully our way into the base. And for now, WQXD, it's a perfect time to use the Blazing Duet.
yes.
He's gonna get the kill onto the Atlas. With a few more hits, should be able to get the Kufra as well. That is 2 kills in the back.
Ooh.
And I guess it should be a dead Farsa unless she can get on time. WQXD uses the flicker just to try to catch up. Misses the second skill, but the better mirror image is gonna pick up that Farsa. So Divinity, chasing them down,
Finally,
hunting all these big rays.
Yes, finally. But in the meantime, don't forget, Uranus is just being very annoying. Actually managed to kind of hold the minions a little bit and push down that bottom lane. And Divinity, like what you said, they have to buy the time. But buy the time, as much time as necessary for Uranus to one split push or the Claude to farm up. Because look at that. Claude early on just now, if I'm not mistaken, he has no kills. But now with 3 kills in the back and the Bounty Hunter, he's looking very good. And it feels like they kind of want to go for the turtle. They should go for the turtle right now. But Divinity still kind of scattered all over the map, and this means that Divinity power play is going to take down this turtle, and since it's free and open, courtesy of Divinity.
Absolutely, and but Divinity did manage to get the tier 2 bottom. Obviously, the Uranus serving his purpose here, pushing lane, and in fact he's sticking onto the Granger. He's just trying to buy time. Middle lane action happening as well. They finally get the Granger off the board. Asmodee try to kill this Atlas before it gets to Sun, and now they're gonna have to hurry to TP back because you got Leopard at the top, you got Valor and Uranus at the bottom, and Divinity, they're trading kills. In return they want map control, and map control is what they will get. They finally force power play to raise the white flag and TP back to base. That being said, they still lose a tier 2 in the top. They also lose Sun, and they might even risk losing a tier 3 at the top if Kufra doesn't reach there in time.
Yes, and I really like how they're doing though. I mean, like, Divinity probably realized, hey, if power play has a lot of damage and I cannot out damage you, let's try a competition between turrets. So they're kind of forcing power play's hand to basically, you know what, if you don't TP back, I am going to take down your turrets one by one. And that is exactly, look at the barren lands of power play right now at the top and the bottom lane. The only outer turret that's standing for power play is the mid turret. And to be honest, in exchange, I would change out the mid turret, because the mid turret is kind of the one that kind of provides you with the majority of the vision. And look at them just trying to delay as much as they can. And but Claude has to definitely come online as soon as possible, because I would say that the Kagura kind of falls in the late game in a sense, and the Farsa maybe at the late game if Claude actually jumps onto the Farsa. The Farsa is not really mobile if she doesn't have a second skill online. And yeah, look at that. Kufra as well, 519.
Yep, I mean the Kufra is just setting up a lot of these kills on Divinity power play. He's getting kills through a magic power ball, a magic ball, and he will get another kill, or rather Sunetics will get another kill with the help of the Kufra. Meanwhile, bottom lane, a lot of trouble now. He used to be ringing 1v1, but he's dodging all these feathered airstrikes while his team is getting shredded at the tier 3. But despite all of that push coming power play, there is still one big boss that they have to take down, and that is the Valier. With the Searing Torrents, it makes it so hard to push into tier 3, and this is why Valier is such a highly picked hero. But now, with the help of Kufra, can he land this jump? Yes, he can. He gets the kill on the Valier. That's a little bit of a trade. It's a fair trade though.
Yes,
it really is. You get to kill the Valor, you die for it, and you also get the Uranus at the bottom. Quite a messy moment for both of these two teams. Swoop gonna have to back off right now, forced to use the flicker, and Radiant is also gonna back off to clear the middle wave, while I believe it is Kufra that went down, or no, it's the Leopard that went down from afar.
Yes, and to be honest, look at the team fight. It feels like power play is kind of losing the patience as well. Probably annoyed what Divinity has done to them. They really want to end this game right here, right now. But don't forget, Uranus is really, really powerful in terms of pushing. You saw how the Uranus is just going back and forth, trying to dodge the feather strike. I think that is absolutely hilarious. You just have to add those, funny music and stuff like that, and it's definitely be like a Tom and Jerry kind of thing.
We did see Bush going down. Despite using the Purify over there, but Claude gets picked off, and that is huge for power play. With the Claude out of this fight for 27 seconds, can Divinity hold this wave back? Well, Lord is up for the taking, and if I'm power play, I'll definitely be looking to try to take the Lord, but they have to go back first because Uranus already pushing in the top. And this is what I mean, like,
Yes.
such an annoying hero. Like, as long as he's alive, there's always this looming threat of the Uranus pushing into the base, and because of that, Divinity Power Play, they cannot leave out for too long. They cannot stay outside their base or stay outside their base without defending for too long. And we did see the Uranus just buying time for the rest of the team.
Oh
He
my
did
God.
do decent damage. He uses his ultimate, and he's just gonna heal himself up. Look at that. WJ is gonna happily soak up the shot. He finally goes down to the Granger, but he did buy time for Divinity because all their heroes are now up. And it's back to status quo. Let's just go back to pushing. Oh, the burst damage coming out. Snatics did manage to get the kill.
Ooh.
Blazing Duet comes up. They trade blow for blow. Both the Claude and Granger will go down. But the Dancing Cascade on top of Ademir to try to bring this Atlas, this tanky, annoying Atlas. And that is going to be one more Fatal Links for the road before he goes back into Death Counter Swoop, sticking up on the far side. Like you said, it's really hard to avoid him when he's on the Phantom Steed, and now he's just gonna cut this wave to make sure that Impurity Power Play cannot push into the base without defending. And looks
And
like,
don't forget, yes, Uranus
the
at the
teleport.
bottom lane.
he actually used a River. And Swoop is just buying time. He's just trying to take up this Ass Murder.
Ooh.
He knows he's gonna die, but
Yes.
he's still trying to delay as much as he can so that WJ can push into the base and hopefully try to get a tier tower out of this. But Uranus not being able to do so because Grangers come up just at the very last second. They also get the kill onto the Kagura and mid, and if Sonetics is not careful here, WJ might be able to turn the fight
Oh my
around.
God.
Nope. The crit and the face is just too much to handle. And now Claude trying to bring down Bush as well. Kufa coming in with the Tyrant's Revenge, followed by the Tyrant's Rage. WQ forced to use the Flicker. Better Mirror Image coming back into the fight, but gets caught out by that Kufa. And it's a pretty much a messy back and forth coming from these teams. But eventually, Power Play, they slot on, and now they can finally take this tier 3 in the middle.
Yeah, it took Power Play this amount of time to finally break onto this door of the mid turret. Actually, the mid inhibitor turret. It took way too much time, to be honest. Especially you saw how Uranus and Leomore just be so busy on the side lane trying to push it down immediately. But if Divinity Power Play were to actually sacrifice a little bit of their members, they might actually experience a team wipe because Valère is just holding down the line so strong. And look at that very nice Atlas ultimate.
Yep. That Fatal Links as well, managing to catch two of them. Sun goes down, but Asmurder comes in with the Falling Star Moon. Falling Star Moon, and they will get the kill over there. A little bit of a dance between two of these heroes. He's just gonna wait for the rest of the VD to come up. There's nothing against this Asmurder. She's just gonna go around, getting kill from them. And I don't think they will be able to bring this Asmurder down. In fact, Soap will go out, and Animal still sticking for good measure, trying to kill these creeps. And Fatal Links onto the base, trying to make her tank up all those turret shots. Has to go back to heal up while the rest of but Valor and Uranus are back into the game. They get the kill onto the Asmurder, but dropping really low. One more hit, Annihilate will land his shot, and to get the kill onto Gregor and Divinity, they hang on.
Yeah, they're like what we said, cockroaches, but this time round we have yet seen them growing wings. Look at Uranus at the top, backing it again, trying to push down this turret. Farsa trying to hold on a little bit, and look at this Kufa trying to buy a little bit of time, trying to force out all the ultimates, as well as Kagura is just gonna pick off the Claude as well with the umbrella. But it feels like, I think they are like Power Play, they really want to force this as much as they want to.
Did you see that? The wombo combo coming out,
Yes.
the Fatal Links, and then into the Searing Torrents. There was already a charge of the Burst Fireball on the floor, and that just did additional damage to Power Play. They lose 3 members at that, and while they did get the Lord. I can't believe I'm starting at this point. Don't screw me. But yeah, Divinity managed to push the fight back, coming up for Power Play. They managed to get 3 members in their own jungle, and they will also successfully defend against this Lord. Additionally, they already have the Leomord pushing the bottom side, but if it's not too careful, we might see Granger rope around, although I don't think Yeah, I don't think Sonetics would do that. It's a little bit too risky. If Grengar does go down, that's gonna be quite a bit of an issue for power play.
Yes.
Although Divinity taking a fight just outside of the base. Claude going down. That is a long 40 seconds. Now they're gonna have to defend. But Uranus is coming up. So if he's gonna use the arrival in the bot lane, he might be able to get the tier 3, but bigger trouble on the minds of Divinity. Fatal Links coming in once again. Adimir, the pivot to try to hold them back as Divinity tries to fight outside. You got Sand using the Feather Airstrike. They get the kill onto the Leomord. And I guess no arrival for WJ. Healer goes down, WJ goes down. It's a team wipe. And there's also super minions coming down middle lane. I'm pretty sure this is GG. And power play, well, they tie it up and we will be seeing a game 3.
Yes, I'm actually excited for game 3 right now. We saw how scrappy the fights are, especially at the later stage of the game. Power play really want to end this game, but Divinity being super annoying with the Leomord trying to split push, the Uranus going around trying to clear the wave as well, forcing the hand of power play as well. But to be honest, I think that is a very good job well done for the both teams hanging on as much as they can. It's a 16 minutes game, to be honest, and they're probably gonna feel a little bit weird, I would say, but hey, we're hopping to game number 3 and then we're just gonna try. They'll probably have another chance at it, at being the champion of this tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a good bounce back coming up from power play, given that they did lose game 1, but you know, I like I said, you know, game 1 felt like more of a friendly scream. It really did feel like it. And
Yeah, it
game
does.
2 wasn't exactly clear cut. It was pretty much a messy back and forth from these two teams. You know, you mentioned about the Claude, not the Claude, but you know, the Uranus as well as the Leomord split pushing, and this is why they picked up those two fighters. They're just very independent heroes. They don't really need a team to be able to push, and they pretty much do well in the 1v1. But I guess at the end of the day, the Asperger pick
Kind of helped them a lot.
factor. Yeah, like they I mean, they didn't really have much against the Asperger. As long as the Valor is down, Asperger can pretty much just walk straight into the base of Divinity and try to just soak up all the damage whilst dealing, you know, her own onto Adamir. And I gotta say, props to Adamir, man. He played a really sick Atlas. Like, I can't name the number of times he did manage
The
to
Fatal
get, like,
Links, man.
yeah, the 2 to 3 members of on the side of
Yes.
Divinity, power play, you know, catching them out, setting up the stunts for the Valir, and then, you know, just exceptional. And I think he was also one of the main reasons why they couldn't push into the base, because of how tanky he is.
How tanky it is, as well as the Wombo combo coming out with the Fatal Links, I would say.
Yes.
Like,
Wait, hold on. I don't mean to stop you there.
Yep.
Power play did win 2-0. The
Wait.
scoreboard was wrong. So I know this is a big confusion, but turns out we have our grand champions. Well,
All right.
ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. All right, so congratulations to Power Play, Divinity Power Play, and well, just congratulations to both divinities. They get respectively first and second, and well, for all the lagging issues, you know, they will definitely be able to solve it now that they have the ROG GTAX 11,000.
Yes, and definitely not to forget that this tournament is brought to you by Asus ROG, and as what Eric said earlier on just now, the winners walk away with the Asus ROG GTAX 11,000, the lag-free and low-latency gaming router with one-click mobile boost. And don't forget, you can also be a winner yourself by getting this GTAX 11,000 when you sign up for the MyRepublic Gamer Fiber broadband. So what are you waiting for, ladies and gentlemen? Head on over to myrepublic.net/sg/gamer for more information.
Yep, I guess that's about it. That's all we have for you guys. I know we had a rough patch of technical issues, but we managed to lay it out.
Yes.
And we managed to get over the finishing zone. And once again, big congratulations to both Divinity, especially Power Play, for being the grand champions. I hope you guys enjoyed the games. And remember, if you want to catch up with the VODs, you can always follow us on Facebook for more information at MyRepublic Gamer. And shout out to Asus ROG once again. My name is Aris. This has been Jace, and we will see you next time round.
All right, see ya.